This is a conversation that every single man in Canada needs to have. This is the advice that I wish my father told me, that I wish his father told him, and that I wish that I'd heard sooner, because we as men live in a world where everybody hates us. The entire system is literally rigged and stacked against us. And if you're not aware of these types of things, it's going to absolutely eat you up alive. And if you listen to these next 10 to 15 minutes, this is going to be the most life-changing advice, life-changing talk you've ever had. And I've written down some notes because I want to hammer everything out as efficiently as possible. Number one, as a man, they're trying to make you as soft as humanly possible. They are trying to lower your testosterone levels through putting things in the water, leaving things in the natural water when you drink tap water, when you drink regular water. They're trying to convince you to drink the soy, to leave red meat and eggs off the table. The number one molecule in building cholesterol is, the number one molecule in building testosterone is cholesterol. And where do you get the highest amount of cholesterol, the best cholesterol? Red meat and eggs. The doctors, who are fat and shaped like pears and butternut squashes, will tell you too much red meat, you don't want to eat eggs, it's bad. No, shut up. You literally look like a plum. You want red meat, you want eggs. It higher the testosterone levels. I found that when I retired from playing professional hockey and I started eating more red meat, eating more eggs, I felt more like the man. I wanted to go to the gym and lift heavier things. And when I went to the gym and started lifting heavier things, I felt like I wanted to start fighting. And I swapped out hockey, which was my entire life from 4 years old onwards, for mixed martial arts and learning to fight. And every single time I go, I love getting punched in the face. I love learning things. I feel like a man because I'm fighting in combat with other men. It's what makes men great. Being a caged animal at the zoo is not exciting. Everybody loves the wild stuff, literally out in the wild. And if you're domesticated, sitting at home, slouch, bad posture, working your white-collar job, letting your wife run the show, no, that's not a real man. A real man is strong. Men have strength. We are physically built to work. Are you physically capable? Can you fight? These are things that make men men. And they want to shame you because they've gotten men so soft. Fighting is very barbaric. You don't want to do that. Ignore it. Essentially, if you do the opposite of what society tells you as a man, you'll be very successful. Moving on through here. They want you soft. Also, you're more likely going to adopt the fearmonger programming. So, for example, Orange Man bad. They're going to take over Canada. Oh my God, the imaginary flu is going to kill you and grandma during 2020. Oh, but grandma. Maybe we'll just wait till Wednesday and we'll see how things are going to go. Maybe I'm not going to get my fourth hoo-hoo ha-ha in my arm. You know what I'm talking about? Because this is a giant scamdemic, the plandemic, right? The ability to be a man and not be soft is opening your eyes, right? Why do my eyes hurt? Because you're using them for the first time. As men, this is what we are born to do, to critically think. Women are hive-minded thinkers. We have the ability to think for ourselves. Use it or you lose it. If you've never thought for yourself before, guess what? You better start sometime soon, because it's really going to help you unplug from all of society's comforting lies. They also try to put on men, you need to get married and have kids in your 20s because you don't want to age out at 30. Well, yes, if you were a woman, that would be very true. Because when 30 hits, it is the fire sale. Everything must go, going out of business, 50% off everything. As a man, this is what they don't tell you as a man. If you can survive your early to mid-20s and make it to your end 20s, in the start of your 30s, you will absolutely clean up. I wish my father told me that. My dad got married in his early 20s, divorced, and married again at the start of his 30s. I wish somebody had told me this, and one of my best friends, Rob, shout out to you, he's in his early 40s, and he tells me, dude, you think it's good at your late 20s, early 30s. Wait till you hit your late 30s, early 40s. Like, women love older seasoned men. There's a reason women love men with a little bit of salt and pepper in the hair. A little touch of white, where the salt looks better than the pepper, because they love experienced men. Women hate young men, right? I'll speak to it in my first-hand experience. Being in your early 20s, it's tough. Nobody respects you. Society doesn't respect you as a man to begin with, let alone in your early 20s. And women don't give you the time of day. If you can make it out, not getting married and blowing up your life in your early to mid-20s, you're going to kill it in the second half of your 20s and into your 30s. And also, if you are soft, you're going to let your woman lead because she's your equal. Women don't want to be equals. Women really want a dictator. They literally want a dude who's going to be like, this is how it's going to be. Respectfully, shut up. This is how we're going to do things. Women want that. Society tells you no. Don't listen to what they say. This is what women respond to best, I have found. Now, as far as the women out there, these are things to have your eyes open to. Feminism is the biggest psyop in human history. And once you start seeing this in women, you can't unsee it. Feminism is designed to make women as unattractive to men as possible, to share their bodies in their early 20s doing the most disgusting, vile things. And then when it's time to lock in a deal, tighten up the screws, then make you pay more for less, right? They are trying to make them as combative and as alpha as possible. You'll notice, I remember telling my dad this, the men have become so soft and the women have become so masculine. It's a complete reversal of the roles. And my dad said no. And then he calls me back a week later, son, I think you're onto something. It's everywhere I go. Listen to how women talk in public. I was just walking out here in downtown Toronto down Front Street. Yes, Toronto is the shithole of the world, as you can see behind me. But all these women dressed up for the Blue Jays games with these low, skimpy cut tops, profanity, cuss and swearing, just no class and no soft feminine edge. Soft feminine touches, I should say. You don't want women with edges. It is a beautiful thing when a woman has femininity and doesn't sound like a truck driver or a sailor or is cussing and swearing. It is gross. So that's another element. They're trying to make women as unattractive to you as humanly possible. Also, they're trying to sabotage women so that they waste their early years partying, doing dumb shit, chasing careers, collecting cats, drinking wine, traveling, etc., and then you're going to be the cleanup guy when they are about to hit 29, 30, and about to have the fire sale going out of business. It's also going to lessen her chances of reproducing, or if she's having kids at 30 versus 20, you can't have as many kids. Women have a biological window. So if you want lots of kids, like me, you're not going to date somebody in their 30s. For me, 26 plus, no thank you. Waiter, check, please. That is recreational use only. 25 and under is perfect. It's just young enough where they're not totally retarded, and they're very easy to mold, right? The man is the cup, the woman is the water. The woman will form to whatever you are. You can give the same woman to me, to you, and to somebody else, and you'll get 3 different results. Women conform to their environments. You have to be exactly that. And if she is, in my opinion, if she's 26 plus, for sure 30, she is too old to mold. Also, with feminism and women getting into the workplace, and if you're going to have kids, the woman wants to work. She's going to be a career woman. Therefore, you got to work too because you need 2 incomes to support a family. The kid is going to be in the state's control. The state is going to have its programming through the daycare, elementary, middle school, high school, and the university system. They come out 24, 25 with only female influences because only women work in those fields for the most part, which are taking in the state's programming. And then you wonder why your kid's so whacked at 24, 25. You're like, oh, I don't recognize them. They went to university. Yeah, because you were a piece of furniture as a father and were not active and engaged in understanding that this is a feminist society. This is a female-first primary social order. It is designed to help women, not to help you. The next is, as a man, money printing. You need to understand every single country in the Western world are running these, racking up crazy deficits and crazy spending, and is only fueled by money printing. They are taking this money out of thin air. They are printing it. This is how the money system works. It's definitely worth looking into. Fractional reserve banking, right? And then the monetary system, Jekyll Island, 1913. And that it's a debt-based system. You have to have the debt forever expanding for the system to continue to go on as it is. And so as the money and the inflation continues, it's going to drive up your cost of living. It's going to lessen your quality of life. And the only thing that's going to keep it satiable as it continues to expand and ramp up is taxes. Taxes take the money out of the system as they print money and throw it in. If they just threw the money into the system, we'd have 50,000% inflation. Paying 50% taxes in Canada is literally the only way the inflation is satiable. But it's not really satiable. Instead of the inflation being out of control, they're just pulling your money out of the system. So you need to understand this, and that the only way to survive this is to have assets. Assets appreciate. So for example, since the scamdemic of 2020, the Toronto stock market has gone up 120%. The average Canadian wage has gone up 9%. If you're an average worker saving your money, you're going to get cooked. If you got money and assets, you're going to do fine. You're going to be fantastic. Inflation helps rich people. It crushes poor people or middle class. They're trying to wipe out the middle class. And if you followed every collapse of every empire ever, it follows the exact same formula, and it is crushing the middle class through monetary inflation and too much money in the supply system. So that's an element of it. As I mentioned, high taxes are going to help to hide the inflation. On top of that, if you are a white male, now keep in mind, I look white. I'm actually more native than anything else. I'm a card-carrying member of the community, but I'm trying to help white people because that's a big chunk of my ancestry as well. And this is what built everything. It was Northern European settlers from a certain religious background that settled everything that we have. And we need to preserve that in order to keep what we have. The Great Replacement, you are being replaced. They are trying to replace you with the third world because the birth rates are so low. Feminism makes women not have kids and makes them unattractive. The birth rates are currently in Canada at 1.26. You need 2.2 to sustain the population. They haven't had that since the 1970s, which is why as the birth rates have gone down, the immigration has only ramped up. And they're going to replace you. They're going to water down your vote because you're going to get outnumbered. And as the boomers die off, it's going to get even worse and worse because the majority of white people are the boomers. It's going to cheapen your wages, making you earn less, higher cost of living, and more crime because these savages come from the third world, where they come from third world dictatorship governments, and it's absolute the Wild West out there. So when you have all these carjackings and these homejackings literally right behind me in Mississauga, in downtown Toronto, and all throughout Ontario, especially Brampton, etc., this is a byproduct of bringing in the third world. If you bring in 25% of the population in 10 years, all of which come from the third world, you have now watered down the quality of life with 25% of the third world into the first world. You're some of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you spend time with 5 drug dealers and drug addicts, you're going to become the 6th. It's as simple as that. So accepting the third world's quality of life, because they've tried to shame you, they've softened you. Accept it, everybody's equal. No, everybody's not equal. There's a reason. They come from the third world. That place is a shithole. It's a shithole for a reason. If you're coming here, you're going to bring your shithole world ways. And when everybody is so soft, they don't want to enforce these cultural values that we have as Canadians. Part of being Canadian is being so courteous to other people that you won't do something to inconvenience them, right? You're not, for example, you're not going to go out in public smelling like shit. You're going to put on deodorant. You're going to shower preferably once a week. Honestly, once a day is more preferable than that, right? You're not going to speak in your foreign language on speakerphone, yelling at the top of your lungs at the airport. You're not going to wave the flag of your shithole in our country. These are all things that are accepted because society and men have become so soft. And this is literally what the replacement of the third world is doing to you. Let's talk about the LGBTQ trans stuff. If you become part of the alphabet soup crowd, if you're gay, lesbian, or trans, you literally cannot produce. You have to steal somebody else's kids and indoctrinate them. So if somebody else reproduced and you turn their kid gay or trans, they're not going to reproduce either. Literally, being gay, trans, etc., part of the alphabet soup crowd is the textbook definition of anti-family because there is no reproduction involved. A family requires reproduction. If there's no reproduction, there is no family. We talked about men getting the power later on at 30, sort of. As a man, you get a lot of the power in your life at 30. Making it out of your early 20s, mid-20s without crazy amounts of debt, getting married, making bad decisions is huge. Trying to do that. But if you do, family law, you need to be aware of family law because it is designed, because it hates men, to drain the father, you, of your wealth because of hypergamy. Hypergamy is the term for women want to do better than them. Therefore, this is why most men that get married do better than most women. There's very few exceptions, and I get it, there are some exceptions, but just because it is an exception does not disprove the rule. So if most men do better than most women, when we're dividing the assets, she's taking half your shit, preferably all of it, right? The family courts are designed to transfer the wealth from the male to the female, and in the process, it turns the mother into a consumer because when women have money, they spend more. They make up 83% of all consumer purchases in the Western world. When men have more money, they have more kids. When they have less money, they have less kids. So it turns the woman into a consumer because she's been spending more money because she's got your money, and it turns the man into the tax cattle because he's lost all of his money. They also break the home and take the kids out of the home early because now you have 2 separate households with both parents, and they're not going to get both the love and the nature and the nurture and the protection from both, right? Mom has a role, dad has a role. 50% of all divorces end up with the woman getting sole custody of the kids. The father does not get to see the kids at all in half of the divorces, on top of the divorce rates already being 50% by year 7. If I went jumping, parachuting off the CN Tower behind me, and they told me 50% of the time the parachute doesn't work, and 50% of those times it's because we didn't pack it properly, would you go parachuting? I wouldn't. It's just a bad business decision, and if you do it, you deserve to get cooked. And it gets even worse. All divorce records are public. So when you get subpoenaed and they want to find out all your financial information and your assets because they want to take half, all of that is public. So if you are in a high-ticket profession, if you are in a higher net worth category as far as jobs go, all that information is public. And so your employer, if they're renegotiating a contract, can bend you over because they can see everything you have. Oh, what's that? You need money? Well, I guess you're going to have to take a little bit of a lower deal because you have no choice but to say yes. All of this is public. I can access it. Joe Schmo down the street here can access it. It is all public record. Everything in the family divorce court. It is literally rigged against you. And also, as the world continues to plunge, or as Canada continues to plunge and plunder into the third world, more and more laws are brought in. There's a stat I saw the other day. The average person in Canada or the United States breaks about 3 laws per day, 3 felonies every single day. You don't know it. I don't know it because there's so many damn laws. If everybody's committing 3 felonies a day because there are so many laws, and I want you to ask yourself this question. When was the last time you saw them take a law away? Every single day there's new law, new law, new law. We'll add this, we'll add this, we'll add that. When was the last time you saw them take away a law? I haven't seen it. I've never seen them do that. So they're only adding and adding and adding and adding and adding. So if you piss the government off and you speak out against them, let's say you go to the trucker convoy in 2022, you are guilty. You've committed something. We just have to find it. Everybody is guilty at that point in time. And if you need the government to eat, in the case of 30% of this country in Canada works for the government, whether it's directly working for the government as a public service worker, if you are a police officer, if you are a school teacher, if you work for Canada Post, VRL Canada, the train service, 30% of the country needs the government to eat. Are you going to talk back against the government or the people that are feeding you? Probably not. This is what has happened in our country. And as a man, you have to understand everything is rigged against you. Every last element. Society hates men, and they hate white men specifically. And ask yourself this question. When was the last time you saw a TV commercial, billboard ad, whatever, and you saw a family together that was a white woman and a white man? There are always some mixed race, interracial couple, which is literally like 1% of all couples out there, but they want to make you seem like it's more normal because white people are literally like the only race on earth that have no racial loyalty. Every other race is loyal to its own race, right? So with the Indians that have come in from the third world the past 10 years, 5 years, they're loyal to them. That's why when you go to Tim Hortons, Indian guy gets hired. Who does he hire for the staff? All Indians. That's why they call it the Taj Mahal Hortons, right? The Singh Hortons, right? Same thing with every other race. White people have no racial loyalty for whatever reason. I'm not sure if it's been beaten out of us. I think that's pretty true. I don't know if it's psychological, whatever, but white people literally settle the entire Western world. So you need to be aware of this. Can't change it. Right? There are not enough people that are willing to wake up and to change this and cause a revolution tomorrow. So what can you do? Take the power back into your own hands. What can you do with your situation? Fix your finances. Fix your strength. Be a man. Learn how to fight. Be the best father that you possibly can. Be the best man for the people that need you the most. That is all that you can do because there is no voting your way out of this. Trying to pick sides of, oh, the big bad orange man, he's going to take over Canada. Well, I'm going to support the Liberals. Oh, well, I hope Trump takes over Canada because it'll save us. It's all a distraction. It's all bullshit. There is no political left, right. It's up or down. There are people behind the scenes pulling the strings and pulling the levers. They decide what is happening or what is not, right? You want more or less? We've been going 100 miles an hour. Do you want to go 80? Okay, cool. It's literally like writing a letter to Santa Claus. This is what voting is. Dear Santa, or Mark Carney, Pierre Poilievre, I want less immigrants this year so that they don't replace me. Well, sorry, dog. Mark Carney wants 350,000. Pierre wants 250,000. I want 0. That's not an option. It's not happening. There's more women's rights, more BS coming around the corner. And think about this too. In the past 26 years, since the year 2000, there have been 8.1 million new Canadian babies born in that time. You know how many abortions there have been? 3.3 million. 25% of every baby in this country the past 25, 26 years has been headshotted by their mother. Think about that for a second. There's an entire generation of Canadians that could be out there helping to fix the problem and fight back and be aware and change things. But they ended up getting scooped out like a cantaloupe. It's so sad. Do you agree? Do you disagree? If you like what I had to say, become a channel member. It is 99 cents. There's nobody else talking about stuff like this online. So go and support it, and you get access to all my videos pre-filmed and scheduled, ready to go live. You can watch them right now. And hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a single one out there. Let me know in the comment section, do you agree, disagree? Do you have anything else to add? Thank you for watching.